Hey folks, here we have a Technics SL-7 fully automatic linear tracking turntable. This one has been beautifully restored by me and is in wonderful condition. I'd say easy near mint from the standpoint of cosmetic condition. The SL-7 was made in Japan, what I consider to be the peak of the turntable era, so late 70s into the early 80s. CD was introduced around 82, 83, and turntable began to rapidly decline after that. But so that peak period, some of the best products were made, and certainly from the standpoint of the Japanese direct drives, which I consider the best turntables ever made. This is the peak of that era. So it's direct drive, quartz lock, excellent specifications on this table. So if you are familiar with this model, the overall length and width is the size of a record jacket. So that's its claim to fame. And it was introduced along with the SL-10 and SL-15. The SL-10 has that iconic shape highlighted or featured in the Museum of Modern Art. This one, the SL-7 has more of a traditional turntable look, just smaller. And so, you know, the highlight obviously being that overall size, although of course it's thicker. If I'm going to contrast it with the SL-10, one thing I like about the SL-7 is a little bit better, actually quite a bit better visibility to the record as it's playing, because you have a larger clear surface as well as clear in the middle, or in the front here rather. It is smoked. It's not very bright, very darkly smoked, so you can pretty clearly see the record playing. Not sure with the lighting if you can kind of get that effect very well, but you have it set up in your room, you can see what's going on. So SL-10, obviously you got that iconic shape, and got more chunky. This one just gives you a little bit better visibility. From the standpoint of performance, this was introduced, as I understand, about maybe 6 months, half a year after the SL-10, and is you know, no evidence of cost cutting. That wasn't what this is about. It's actually a little bit heavier, still all metal construction. A few things were changed. So this one has a little bit easier access from a serviceability standpoint, because this bottom section removes, so you have access to the electronics from the top and the bottom. Say tone arm servo, all that control is largely the same as the SL-10, maybe updated slightly. It's supposed to be a little bit better in terms of the movement of the servo, but I find when they're calibrated, they're both spectacular when the electronic calibration has been done, and that has been done on this one. So, you know, really a meticulous restoration was done on this one. So a standard restoration includes lubing the rails and replacing the belt. All that was done on this, just beautifully meticulously. So all the old lube is thoroughly cleaned out. Then very lightly lubed, so you don't want a lot of lubricant, just very light lubing. And then a new tone arm belt, of course. Also, while I'm in the deck, I do remove the platter, remove the bottom. I remove the spindle, clean it with isopropyl alcohol, and re-lube it. So that's not something you'll typically see done. I do check all the electrolytics. Technics, one thing you just got to watch for, there's sometimes be a little bit of oxidation on the legs of the electrolytics. I believe I replaced maybe 5 to 7 capacitors on this one. All of them were checked like new. So the electronics on this are in great shape, and everything has been addressed. I do remove all the panel controls. And they do sit out in the open, so accumulation of dust over the years can hamper that performance, make it just not as crisp. And it's pretty standard in my restoration to get all that beautifully done. And I'd say the final piece is to do the electronic restoration, which I've really, it's not something you're going to see done very often, and something I think is really critical, especially for this era of decks. One of the complaints with the SL-10 in particular, also the SL-7 can suffer from this, is what they call like bump and thump, where the carriage is making large infrequent corrections as it moves across the record surface, and your calibration ensures that you're getting small frequent corrections, and so you don't get any of that any sound that would emanate from a large correction. And so very, very smooth as it moves across the record surface. So with that, one other contrast with the SL-10. So one feature of the SL-10 which I like, and they did remove on the SL-7, is there's no button to allow the platter to spin with the clamshell unit open. So which is a nice convenience for being able to dust your record. But this one doesn't have that. It does have all the other controls, as well as an override of the size and speed selection here. If you do have, say, if you're using a transparent disc, you can override it for the size and size here and speed here. But normally you leave those in auto mode, and this operates flawlessly every time. It's really a pleasure to use. And I think I mentioned the specifications on this unit, so don't be fooled by the size that this is anything like a toy. This was I forgot to check the prices, but I believe it was something like $400 or $600 in 1981. So $400 is, for instance, what SL-1200 Mark II would cost, and that's, I think, what this cost, or maybe this might have been a little bit more. The SL-10 was I think $600, and the SL-15, the programmable version, was $900. So, and it's not just a matter of price; the build quality and the technical performance all followed. So excellent, sizable heavy platter, excellent direct drive motor, excellent electronics. Obviously, you have all the convenience features as well as the build quality. So it comes in at about 15 pounds for this size package. That's quite stout. Another thing I'll highlight is I do fit this with a new old stock. So new old stock cart. Let me find it. It's the Audio-Technica SS335EU. So this is a clone of their AT, I believe it's their 120 or their 112, so excellent card. I'd liken it in quality to something like a modern, obviously it's a P mount, but likening quality to, say, a half-inch mount Naga Oka MP110. So very, very good card. And I opened this box. So I was the first one to open this box. This is in perfect condition. And new old stock, but like new, and performance is like new. So excellent cartridge on this table, and the sound quality is just phenomenal. So one thing to watch out for on the SL-7 is the catches to hold it down are molded into this clear plastic hood, and if someone has abused it or shipped this without securing it well, that's probably what typically breaks these. These can crack, and then your turntable won't close properly. So, you can just click it down. One thing I like to do, though, is just hold down the open button as I put it down. Not that I've ever had the problem, but just trying to be as careful with those catches as I can. Certainly don't want those to break in 2021. Let's see. One other highlight I did polish the dust cover. I did miss one light scratch on the other side there. So it's not perfect, but clarity is excellent. It has been polished. So this cover is removed to address the drive and the belt and all that anyway. so take the opportunity to take that to my fixture and polish it. And interesting thing, so there's a sticker on the back that says adjusted, and the idea is that if you go in and do the calibration after, you know, the factory calibration, that you would pierce or remove that sticker. But there's a panel in the back that you can remove the whole panel, and then you don't have to disturb that sticker. So just something I like to do. When it's on, you have an LED here for the carriage position, and you have an LED here which actually shows, shines on a strobe. This is quartz lock, so it's perfect at all times. So just press start. The table will sense whether it's got the size of the record. It'll make it an assumption based on the size what the speed is. In this case, so 12 inch, so it's pick 33. Of course, you can override these things. So just from a standpoint of features, we have the open, close, power, repeat. So you can repeat full side over and over if you choose. Queuing up and down. So this one's got very nice smooth queuing. So it's another thing is ensuring with silicone damping fluid that queuing is nice and smooth. Sometimes it'll just drop really fast, and that's not correct. When you queue up, sorry about that. When you queue up, your start and stop turn into I guess you call them queuing or position switches. So, and they're multi-position switches. So you press them lightly, it moves slowly. If you press them more firmly, it moves more fast. And there's two LEDs, so lightly is one, more firmly is two. And then same thing for the back, so slow speed, really slow, or faster. And then, of course, at any point you can, let's see if we can get back to the end. Let's put on repeat. Actually, we can just go to the end. Cue down. The deck does have a mute function, so as you're moving, the audio is muted. And then soon after it places the record down, it unmutes and the audio is played. But you'll be able to hear that in a moment. So right now we're in a repeat, so it's just going to go back to the beginning and restart. So this is a classical record. I use this record mainly because I don't get copyright strikes with it. It's really hard to play any music on YouTube and not get a copyright strike. Pretty much all my videos do get strikes. It's going to be a little difficult not to get a strike and do a 45, but let's go ahead and do that. So one nice thing, well, a couple nice things as I see more nice things. The lid in the open position is either dead vertical or almost vertical, so really nice and great access. I enjoy that. The second thing is what I wanted to mention is that the 45 spindle is integrated, which just makes it, you're not going to lose it, and it's just there when you need it. I'll try to just play a few seconds of this. So again, go down, press start. So now it uses the LEDs through the platter, so it already knows the size. And it makes the assumption of 45. So let's just, YouTube has put in a new feature so they're even more strict with copyright, so I'm going to see if I can avoid it. But I need to cue down in order to stop, because if I'm queued up, then the stop button, it becomes a cue motion button. A little work outside, making some noise. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I think I hit all the highlights, and it was wonderful, wonderful turntable. Excellent performance with the restoration I've done here. Your look, your feel, your performance is all right there at optimal. So I love working on these tables. I enjoyed making this video and hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks so much.